Rivers Hoopers showed their grit and composure to defeat Ebun Comets 65-49 and take a third win from as many games at the ongoing Nigerian Basketball Premier League Phase 2. After a slow start, the defending champions picked up the pace to lead by 5 points at the end of the first quarter with a score at 19-14. However, the second quarter was one to forget as the Kingsmen could only manage 9 points and Comet scored a double the points with 18. This meant the hosts would trail at halftime for the first time this season as the score was 32-28 in favor of Comet. Speaking during his post-match interview, Rivers Hoopers head coach Ogo Daudu admitted his team's slow start in that very one. Meanwhile, Rivers Hoopers closed out the game with a near flawless performance in the fourth, which pleased Ogo Daudu as they notched up to 19 points while limiting Comet to mega 6 points the entire quarter to wrap up the counter at 65-49. So Ogo Daudu, he acknowledged the fact that they did not start the way they should, but then was pleased at the end of it all they were able to go past Ebun Comets, who showed some sort of grit in the second quarter. Rivers Hoopers, they have been unbeaten so far. I think it is only two teams, Lagos Legend and Rivers Hoopers, that have stayed unbeaten in the ongoing Nigerian Basketball League. But from the way Ebun Comets were able to push them, to the limit in the second quarter, do you think that Rivers Hoopers can still, play unbeaten till the end of this season?
I'm talking about being unbeaten. Of course, I think they can. If you take a look at it, coming back, right, in the second phase of the championship, despite, of course, you should expect a little bit of the team being shaky, at some point, because they're just trying to, okay, we'll play the first phase, this is the second phase, what are we to expect? The players don't really know what the opponents are coming up with, they don't know what to expect. It's only when you've gotten into the game and then maybe after some minutes you tend to stabilize, knowing your opponent's strengths, and all of that. And I think that was what happened, of course, to Rivers Hoopers, especially, in the first quarter, of that particular encounter. But thank God they were able to stabilize and, of course, regain back their dominance in the game and were able to, get, that far in that particular encounter. But for me, I think Rivers Hoopers have what it takes, looking at the fact that, they are playing at home, that home advantage has always given them an edge. And one will ask, why is it that every time, in the past 3 or 4 seasons now, basketball has been staged here in Rivers State. And Rivers State, at the end of the day, they will come out top. Is that not an advantage to them? Why is it that we don't rotate this thing, and all of that? So if you take a look at it, Rivers Hoopers has been on a very good advantage, looking at the fact that they are playing at home. No matter how difficult it is, they will always find a way around, of course, to come top, and all of that. I think that was what happened in that particular encounter. Home advantage played in. The players also showed their individual brilliance as well, even the coach, as it stands. So with what it is, I think despite the fact that they were a little bit shaky in the start of this one, I think they still have what it takes, of course, to compete, and being unbeaten. This time we understand they're going to lock ons against Lagos Legends, who are also very, very formidable. They've also been unbeaten. I think that's where, of course, they'll be truly tested, despite the fact that, of course, they will still be playing at home. And this is what it is. Rivers State and Lagos have been very, very formidable when it has to do with basketball, for the past, let's say, 3 seasons now, to say. Rivers State, they're so particular about basketball. Even Lagos are so particular about basketball. And that's why we've seen them being that very, very fantastic when it has to do, with basketball in the country. And I just hope that other states, other teams, will also have this kind of dominance, will also have this kind of support, financially and otherwise, to also stay stable. You could imagine the first phase, some of the teams couldn't actually honor the games, due to logistic issues, and all of that. It was so disappointing. But a state like this, where they are proper. The teams are properly cared for. They have that support and welfare. You see them, always put up that formidable performance, as it stands. For instance, you could take a look at the likes of the MFM female basketball team, where they are properly supported at every point in time. You see them always putting up a very impressive performance. It was so unfortunate that they couldn't actually, lay their hands on the title in the just concluded, league this time around. But they are always very, very much, consistent, and that's what was seen in the likes of River Supers and Lagos Legends. Those teams that are properly, cared for, you see them, always put up a very impressive performance. But kudos to River Supers. We just hope that they continue with this impressive fashion.
All right, up next for the Kingsmen is a date with Lagos Legends, who are also unbeaten throughout the course of the season so far. So up next for Rivers Hoopers, just like you heard from Kingsley, is will be against a Lagos Legend. Very formidable side as well. Very, very strong because this is a phase 2. And of course, it promises to be a mouth-watering clash between these two heavyweight, basketball right here in the country. The game between Rivers Hoopers and Lagos Legends will take place today by 5 p.m. at the indoor basketball court 59 Niger Street right here in Port Harcourt Township. So we wish Rivers Hoopers all the best as they bid to, of course, defend their title.